I was muted that whole time. My bad. All right, here we go. Free agency starts today, officially, but unofficially, you have the tampering period that's kicking off right now. Also, Jimmy Garoppolo, should he be traded? Should we be expecting something over the next 48 hours? I think that's going to be big. We're going to get into that. Tom Brady, is he coming to the 49ers? Is he not? There was a lot of talk about Tom Brady in that situation. We're going to get into all of that and more right here. It's the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. Let's go.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crock Talk TV podcast. Peace.
Welcome to another episode of the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. I am your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And y'all know what it is, man. Got the same spiel every single time we hop on here every Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever it is that we're on here. Make sure y'all tune into Locked On 49ers with myself and my co-host, Brian Peacock. We come at you 5 days a week on that platform, any streaming platform that you use. Also, Locked On NFL Draft. The draft is in full swing right now, so make sure y'all tune in to the Locked On NFL Draft Show with myself and my co-host, Ryan Tracy. He put out a mock last night. Obviously, a lot of 49er fans in here. 49ers don't have a first-round pick, so nobody mocked to the 49ers, but just in general, if you want to know more about the prospects and everything like that, tune in to the Locked On NFL Draft Show. As always, this show is powered and sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. So, you got to do, man, download the app. Use promo code Crocky and go make you some money. If you're into betting over and unders on player props and all that type of stuff, or wagering on player props, over unders, you want to parlay that into something that make you some money. We made a lot of money during the football season. Underdog Fantasy. Download the app right now. Use promo code Crocky. All right. And they'll match whatever you put in there. I think they're still doing that. All right. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I see the flames coming in here. Rick Torres. I only see 3 flames, bro. What's happening? What's up with that? Got to get 5 flames. 5 flames if you're feeling great. I'm feeling great. I'm fresh off of a, I don't know. Do we say vacation? I don't want to say vacation because it didn't feel like a vacation, but felt like a lot of work and a lot and money spent. But it was my wife's 35th birthday, so I surprised her with a couple of our best friends. Right, like my best friend. He's like my brother, Donald. Her best friend Vanessa. I actually, and that's why we weren't on here Thursday. I drove to Memphis, picked up her best friend, drove back here, did the show with Grant Cohn, trained my athletes. As soon as that was done, had to drive to Little Rock, pick up my best friend, all right, drive back here to Monticello, and then early in the morning, about 4 a.m. or whatever, had to drive all the way to New Orleans, and we had a good time. We had a good time out in New Orleans. All that good stuff, man. All that good stuff. Couple things, man, like, I was just thinking about, and do y'all listen to, I know everyone listens to podcasts, right? I know y'all listen to pods, but in sports pods. Do y'all listen to like entrepreneurship, like podcasts? Now, again, there's not, I don't know what y'all into or what y'all do for work, but I don't know. For me, it's like inspiring, not to hear someone else's perspective on things or whatever, but really just to hear like the journey and like what goes into the journey. I've had a journey and I've talked about it. I've kind of been open. Razor Ramon passed away. Oh, RIP Razor Ramon. I know all y'all, wrestlers out there, wrestling fans out there. Y'all know what that is. But here we go. I'm currently in the process of buying a 2-unit duplex. That's what's up. Eventually, I want to do that in California. Eventually, I want to. Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas is a good one. So, again, and I think he has 2 different things. What I've heard so far from Eric Thomas is more like you got to go. You got like motivation, right? Like it's like a motivational speaker. Go up. You got to go get it. Go get your money. All that type of stuff. If you ain't gonna do it, somebody else gonna do it, like that type of thing. I listen to a ton of Andy Frisella. Andy Frisella is more tailored towards like specifically kind of business and that mindset. Now he has kind of over this time kind of transitioned into like it's like half kind of business, half politics. So there's a lot of politics in it, but even with politics, I like to listen to things that maybe don't align with my thinking or the way that I grew up. So just a different perspective. So although I don't really care for it, I still listen to it just to hear a different perspective. Well, Andy Frisella, I listen to him a lot. Rob Deerdeck, I know a lot of y'all listen to or remember watching Rob and Big growing up. The Fear Factory or Skating Factory, whatever Rob had. We all watched all those shows on MTV and everything. Rob Deerdeck has Build with Rob and it's tailored like specifically for entrepreneurs, and you hear all these other things that people go through. So, I listen to a lot of that, and it always just gets my mind going, gets the wheels flowing, gets me thinking, and all that good stuff, man. It just like opens the mind a little bit. I currently, and some of y'all know, I got my building going up, and let's see if I can go to some of my bookmarks. I got my building going up, and it started with this, and it's crazy because you have to. A lot of people ask me like, "How are you doing this, Croc? Like, how are you building this gym? How are you building this facility? How'd you go about the process and things like that?" And to be honest, the process of me building this gym was someone believing in me. I think it starts with that because a lot of people want to go out, they want to go and get investors, and they want to go that route and all that. And one thing I've learned because I went that route early on, I created my business plan about 5 years ago, and like now, like it was just the way things happened, the way things worked out. But it ultimately came down to someone believed in me. He believed in my vision. He believed in everything that I was doing, and he just wanted to help. He saw it. He felt like it could be something that is really good for the community, and he just. I didn't even really have to sell it to him, and maybe that's the way. If you are going to get someone, I don't want to say an investor, but essentially an investor. My situation is different than that a little bit, but they got to believe in your vision, and you got to be really passionate about it. So anyone that knows me, I'm passionate about three things in life. But outside of my family, I love talking about sports, and I love working with young athletes and being a mentor to them. And I'm very passionate about that. And anyone that ever hears me speak about those things, it's clear that Croc, like he loves these things. So real quick before we get started, because obviously I know you guys came for 49ers content, but I want to show you just kind of the evolution of my gym and it being built. And I'm in a great situation. I have my here we go. I live on a property of land, and like my gym is being built on this land. So right here in November, you could see that the mailbox went up, and I was just happy with the mailbox. But in the background, you can see the slab of dirt that went up. All right. So what I'm building is a 12,000 square foot sports performance facility, or just short of 12,000. You see some of these here, 50 yards of turf indoor, got a workout area. Going to be doing a whole lot of things with that. But here's some little, they laid down this slab of concrete. You see some of the process here. It's been really cool. Like I've been very patient with it. This is like a newer video I posted. You see the beams coming up in the back. Let's see if I can make this bigger here. You see some of the beams up here going up in the back. And then here we go. Now you see everything, just coming along a little more. All right. And now it's about, almost halfway done or whatever. And then now you see it and boom. I mean, the whole outside of it, the framing is pretty much done. Now, it was snowing like over the weekend. I know really weird snows in Arkansas every blue moon, but it was coming down in this area. But by Tuesday, I mean, they might be done with the whole like outside structure of it, like, putting everything up, the cover over the top, the garage doors and everything. I'm pretty sure over the next few weeks, I'll say over this week, you'll see a big transition with that. And ultimately, man, I think sometimes people give up on their plans before it really gets started, or like a goal, like you have something in mind and it's like, man, I want to do this. And then people like really kind of, it feels too hard. So it's like, oh man, like I'm gonna give up on it before it even gets started. And I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't do that, and I'm glad. Shout out to Mr. Smith, Mr. Danny Smith, man, like one of the best men I've ever met. Shout out to him. He's been awesome for me, and none of this would be possible without him. All right, but let's get into some San Francisco 49er talk. Let's go. How y'all feeling today, man? Everybody feeling good? I see everybody going up in the chat already. Here we go. So I was going to start with Jimmy Garoppolo, but you know what? I'm going to start with Tom Brady. And one thing is very clear. And let me go to what Tom Brady said when he issued his statement. His statement. Obviously, Tom Brady, he's back. Tom Brady is back. He came out of retirement. I don't even know if he was retired. I don't even think he was retired. But whatever he was, he came out of that. All right. And this is Tom Brady coming back, and I'm back. These past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands or at home with my family. He didn't say that last part. I just added that. But it was clear. He said, no, I need to be back in that locker room. That time will come, but it's not now. I love my teammates and I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa. Unfinished business. All right, LFG, let's effing go. Now, a couple of things I took away from here, because obviously there was a lot of talk about the 49ers pursuing Tom Brady. And I'm curious to know what y'all think about just this part. If Tom Brady's intentions were to go anywhere else, would he say, I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa? Or would he just say, I'm coming back for my 23rd season, and then just kind of leave all, everybody's imaginations to kind of run rampant? And I think it's more of the second thing I said. All right. I think if Tom Brady, excuse me, y'all. If Tom Brady was coming back and it was about going somewhere else or pursuing maybe the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan or whatever, I think he would have left out the Tampa part. So unfinished business. This is a Tampa Bay team who was just short of an NFC Championship appearance. I think that Tom Brady is going back to Tampa. And that's not to say he didn't pursue any other opportunities or anything like that. Like, you'd be foolish not to do that. But maybe whatever he heard, he didn't care for. Maybe whatever the situations that were available for him, he didn't care for. So now it looks like Tom Brady is going back to Tampa Bay. And I think he made that clear. Now, there were also some comments on Bruce Arians and the owner, and it sounded like everything that they said, and I'll see if I can find it right now. They issued a statement as well. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know where it's at. I know I saw it last night. But Bruce Arians and the owner, they both issued a statement. Basically, oh, here we go. Tom Brady, this is Bruce Arians. Tom Brady loves to play football as much as anyone I've ever been around. As Tom said, his place right now is on the football field. He is still playing at a championship level, which is crazy. I mean, he's hella old and he's playing at a high level. Championship level, and was as productive as anyone in the league last season. We are ecstatic that he decided to continue playing and working toward winning another championship. Now, he didn't say with us, but I'm assuming that's what he means. Here's another one from the owner, Jason we are thrilled that Tom has decided to come back this season. We said we would leave all options open for him should he reconsider his retirement, and today's announcement is something we have been preparing for in recent days. Bruce and I have had plenty of conversations with Tom recently that led us to believe there was a realistic chance he would come back. Tom is the greatest quarterback of all time who is still playing at an elite level. With the decision now made, we will continue to move forward with our offseason plans to reload the roster for another championship run. That sounds like an organization that's gearing up for Tom Brady to be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm assuming, and I don't know, maybe guys like, we got Ben here, talks about Florio. Maybe guys like Florio are like, Tom Brady still going to the 49ers. And maybe he just knows that it's going to get under a lot of y'all's skin. But if, in my opinion, it sounds like Tom Brady will be Tampa Bay Buccaneer. And we can kind of close the door on the whole San Francisco 49er thing. What do y'all think about that? Now, on to some more It's 49ers specific news. All right. And we got Jimmy Garoppolo. He is still on the San Francisco 49ers. And again, like I said, today, if I'm not mistaken, between today and tomorrow are the tampering periods. It's opened up. So, what the hell does that mean for the 49ers and attacking free agents when you still have Jimmy Garoppolo and his contract on your books? That's what, 20 something million, 27 million. Now, I know he had the injury guaranteed in there. So, if you were to cut him, let's say hypothetically speaking, they cut him, you net still like $20 million, which is solid because right now, the way I see it, and we talked about this, we talked about a lot of this stuff on Locked On 49. So make sure y'all tune into that with myself, Brian Peacock, on any streaming platform that you listen to. But we talked about how the 49ers haven't restructured contracts like that. Not to the extent, y'all remember last year when people were talking about, you're probably going to draft a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's too hurt. 49ers are sitting at Big 12. And you were thinking, well, are they going to let him go and draft a quarterback high? Are they going to trade up? What are they going to do? Obviously, they traded up, but the trade up happened shortly after the initial, free agency period. And that first, the big waves of it, the first week or two. And the 49ers, though, leading up to that, did a lot of restructuring to free up money. And that was the biggest thing. At least me, I was concerned. Well, they don't have a lot of money. They got Jimmy Garoppolo on the books. Like, are they going to plan to keep him around? Do you want to get him off the books or restructure, whatever you want to do, and try to figure out a way to have more money available? And then they did. And they were able to re-sign a bunch of guys, and Trent Williams, and they brought back Verrett and Tart and Kwan Williams. They let those guys walk originally. They brought them back. They were able to re-sign some guys, restructure some things, but they made a lot of moves prior to free agency to open up that, like, okay, we got money. They haven't done any of that this year. So what does that tell you? Right? And I don't know. Y'all let me know. A team that doesn't have much roster, much spending money right now, if any at all. Last thing I saw, it was like -7 or something like that. I don't know, it was something crazy. They don't really have much money. And they haven't restructured contracts. A lot of people said, and I see my guy Dynamite Dave, we got to restructure Armstead's deal. We could say $10 million. Well, they haven't done it. They haven't done it. So what that lets me know is I would assume Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be gone very soon. And if there was some type of announcement either today or tomorrow that Jimmy's gone, I would not all be surprised. Now, I know a lot of people being funny on social media. I see the tweets and everything like that. Well, Jimmy was supposed to be gone. Jimmy, and I was like, listen, I don't know if they're looking into things. Also, I don't know if y'all listen to Middlecoff, Haberman and Middlecoff, but I know Middlecoff kind of spoke about him hearing the 49ers potentially got a second offer. I don't know. They got a second round. I don't know. Because I would assume they would jump straight on that. That's what you would think. Like, yeah, they got to jump on that. They got any type of offer to that extent. But looking at the situation with Jimmy Garoppolo, man, I'm trying to read between the lines here. And the fact that they have not restructured anyone's contract lets me know that the plan is to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what it seems like to me. And I could be wrong. Or that might not be as accurate. But this, and I see my guy Dynamite, the front office is just dragging their feet, trying to start a bidding war. This front office has been very proactive with a lot of the moves and decisions that they make. They've been very proactive. They don't take me as a front office or organization that just drag their feet just to drag their feet. So why haven't they restructured contracts? Why haven't they restructured Armstead's contract? To open up more money moving forward. Now, again, I wouldn't act like I'm a capologist or anything like that, but if I had to guess, what just makes the most sense? They ain't worried about it because they're letting Jimmy Garoppolo go. Y'all can let me know how y'all feel about that. Of course, I'm about to open up the window for everything, but real quick before we open up the chat, actually, I'll send the invite in here right now. Here we go. So come on live. Here's a chat. But before we I bring the callers on and y'all give me your advice on everything. There is one other thing that I want to kind of get y'all to listen to. I talked about how and make sure you guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff, thumbs up, all that good stuff. If you like the show. I talked about coming on here how I listen to guys, Andy Frisella. I listen to Rob Deerdick, and they're kind of like the entrepreneur mindset type podcast if you're into that. But Andy Frisella, I was listening to one as I was getting ready to go out with my wife, right? I'm in the bathroom, shaving my head and all that, bald head, all that good stuff. And he said something, I'm like, is he talking to Kyle Shanahan right now? Is he talking to Kyle? So I'm going to let y'all listen to that real quick as we potentially get people to come on. But let me know what y'all think about this. All right. And I got my guy Smoking On a guy coming on. So I want his thoughts on this. But bear with me about 2 minutes of, you know what? I'm not even going to prep you on it. But I felt like he was talking to Kyle Shanahan. So y'all take a listen.
My third and final question for you, speaking on just making people better, when do you know it's the right time for an employee to step up to that leadership position? Like when does Andy give the blessing on that person and say, okay, you're ready?
That's a good question. That's a good question. There's nuance to that. That means there's going to be some instances that aren't consistent with other instances, and it's sort of an art. But here's what I will tell you. I used to wait until I truly believe the person who was stepping up into the leadership had every single skill. And whenever I was like that, no one ever got promoted, right? And so it held my business back, right? And then what I found out is those people would get frustrated because what you have to understand is that most people on your team, they want to be valuable.
Yeah.
They want to contribute to the win.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to score a touchdown pass or a touchdown in the Super Bowl?
Right.
Right? That doesn't mean you have to be the MVP, but they want to do some shit.
Yeah.
And so it took me a long time to figure that out. Made a lot of mistakes. I think my biggest regret as a business owner is like I think back at some of the good leaders that I've had that have maybe moved on to other places because I held them back, not understanding that they were ready for that. And I'm talking like 10 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
Now I do it the opposite. Like when I see someone who's like 50% ready to lead, I fucking throw them the fuck in there. Right. And then I accept that the mistakes they make are going to be part of their education process as long as they aren't fatal.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that works better because people surprise you. People step up when they know that they're dependent on. They will go home and invest more and take their shit more serious with more responsibility. So I think, it's an evolution, and you as an entrepreneur are going to go through this. You're going to go through this period when it's just you, and then it's you and maybe like another person, and then maybe it's you and like 4 other people. And you're probably going to be in that scenario for quite a while. And to get out of that scenario, you have to cross that bridge of trusting people to step up and lead. And really what this is the squelching of your own ego, right? Like as the owner of the business or the CEO or whatever if you want to call yourself,
Yeah.
we tend to think we're the smartest motherfuckers because we're the ones that started the business. But it really doesn't take much to go file some paperwork and start a fucking business, right?
You had a good idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But the goal as an effective CEO is to surround yourself with people that are better than you and smarter than you and more capable than you. And a lot of people can't do that because they're afraid that if, you surround yourself with people who are much better than you, somehow that makes you worth less. And I'm going to tell you, what it does is it makes you worth a whole fucking lot more, all right, in the bank. All right. So what you want to do is you want to cross that bridge as soon as you can and start to understand that people, because I think what holds people back besides ego too, is that they just think that people don't care, right? And they may not care as much as you, but fuck, dude, they got to feed their family. They got to pay for their bills. They want to win too.
That's a good point.
So,
All right, so real quick, I kind of wanted to and he kind of goes on for a couple more minutes, but my thing was, and everybody throws out there, Trey Lance is not ready. And one thing that he said right there was, people want to feel important. And, he always wanted to wait till someone was 100% ready. And what he realized is he lost people that way because nobody's ever going to be 100% ready until they, continue to kind of push forward and go through the ups and downs. And it sounded a whole lot like the Kyle Shanahan and the whole Trey Lance thing, right? Where like Trey Lance, okay, if you try to wait for this guy to be 100% ready, like you're gonna miss out on that. He's like, people want to feel important, and he said, you know what? At certain times and periods, they will probably surprise you. And if you look at Trey Lance in the Texans game, at the end of the day, he stepped up to the plate in the game where you needed him most. Because if 49ers don't win that game, they don't go to the playoffs. 49ers do not go to playoffs if that doesn't happen. Right? If Trey Lance doesn't help them win that game, there are no playoffs for the 49ers. So essentially what my guy Andy Frisella was saying is you gotta just believe in them. Believe in them. And there's gonna be the ups and downs along the way. They gotta work through that. And that's with business. And clearly that's with 49ers. And he said the big thing there, the ego. The ego. Got to put your ego on private side. And what do a lot of people say about Kyle Shanahan? The ego. Everybody's not going to be 100% ready to go. All right, I got my guy, Smoking Niner guy, coming on. Here we go. Good morning. How you doing?
What's up? What's up, Crock?
What up? What up? Where
Morning,
you're
morning.
Japan.
Yeah, Japan. It's 11:03 right now, and at
PM.
Tuesday. Yeah, PM right now.
Monday for you.
Monday. Yeah, Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm not going. I got a patient coming, but I'm not gonna stay on too long. But I wanted to kind of give my perspective or my philosophy as far as like how I think the 49ers should attack this free agency. It's a little different, but I wanted to. So first of all, I want to make sure if I'll bring back Lincoln Thomason if it's without overpaying. So whatever.
What's overpaying?
So I would say I won't want to pay more than 10 million. That would be my, I guess, stop. That I won't want to pay over that because I feel like there's going to be a lot of teams that's going to be heavy on the offensive line. So I feel like he's going to get a lot more money. If he's not willing to stay with us, then he's probably going to get more money out there. So I want to keep these are all our players that I want to bring back on a friendly team-friendly deal. So Lincoln, Raheem, Tom Compton, Brunskill, Aziz, Jawan Jennings. Those just the name of those core players. And then so my outside hires for free agency, I'm gonna go with instead of us trying to do a high elite corner, I'm thinking that we should upgrade our safety position to at an elite level as far as I would say I want to bring in somebody like Marcus Williams or Tyrann Matthews. Those are the two people I want to bring in as far as because if we already have Jimmy Ward, he can play both positions. So I figure if we can bring in somebody that can also play both positions, well, we're more versatile as far as you got Tyrann Matthew that he's a ball hog and he can play the slot, he can play free safety, he can play strong safety, and then Marcus Williams, I mean, he's more so free safety, so that gives Jimmy Ward to come down and to give more of that playmaker role as far as in the strong safety role. So I kind of want to attack the safeties, make sure our safeties are elite. And then for our corners, I mean, if we miss out on those two top corners, but I'm so for the corners, those are the safeties. Those who I want to attack. Those two players. Those I really want to go hard at. Marcus Williams. That's who I would like to see us. Like really go after.
So that's the guy you would prioritize the most. It sounds like
the most.
It's like so out of all the big names that are kind of floating out there that a lot of people want, you're like, okay, if I can just pick one guy, I feel like Williams would have the biggest impact for the team. That's the guy you would throw your money at.
I would throw my money at, and then for my corners, I'm gonna go someone that can come in, that can play outside, and also somebody that can start nickel, but also come in and compete for the outside corner. So I would bring in some guys like DJ Reed, Bryce Callahan, and Kyle Fuller. Those would be my three guys that I would like to bring in just to not to take over, but like come in and compete for that role. And then also, one second.
Yeah,
Can
go
you
ahead.
yeah, so I'm gonna just have you wait out there. Yep, no problem. So so those are the three corners. I'm gonna go real quick. Then
You're
my
good.
edge. I want to make a hard run at Chandler Jones. I want to make a. If he says it's not about money, then hey, come play for us. We got the best D line coach. We got the one of the best D lines. We can maximize your scheme, your talents perfectly. So I wanna. That's who I
I
wanna.
like
I
that.
wanna go. I don't want Frank Clark. Nah, I'm good. If we're gonna go hard at somebody, let's bring in somebody that's gonna move the needle. So that's on. That's that. So on my defensive side, I mean, offense. So if we lose, sorry, if we lose Lincoln, I want to bring in Connor Williams at guard.
From the Cowboys.
So from the Cowboys, I would like because he's not going to be as expensive, but he still has that run first gap scheme zone blocking that he's going to be a mauler. So and he's still athletic where he can pull around and still gets to the outside and go to the next level. So um sorry, I'm moving quick. I got a patient.
I
I'm
know
trying
you
to
gotta go. I
get
know
through
how that feels to kind of
it.
have your mind sped up.
uh,
Go ahead. You're good.
so and then so then for our to bring in somebody like to replace Mike McGlinchey, I'm thinking like Andrew Norwell, Mark Glotsky. He's from the Indy, Ted, and New England. But and the people I want to kick the tire on as far as wide receivers is Mardez MVS
Yeah,
from
Marquez Valdez Scantling.
yep. I want to take a flyer on him only if it's on a team like we're bargaining for it. We're not overpaying. El, Evan Ingram and then OJ Howard. Those are the playmakers I would like to attack. But if not, then I would rather kind of try to pick up a nice a young speedy receiver and a edge. But I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, I got you.
Uh,
I still hear you. I'm here.
but I'm gonna keep listening, but I gotta go tend to this patient. Thank you for letting me come on real quick. Give my spiel. I'm gonna be putting out my plan, more extensive plan on my podcast. So I'm gonna be dropping that later on today. So
Yeah, drop that, tag me
uh,
in it so I can retweet it out there and everything.
I appreciate it, Croc.
All good.
But
All good.
all right, y'all take care.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, man.
All right, there we go. Shout out to my guy. When did in the right system and doing well become an average? Think about that, bro. Someone said this guy has a limited salary cap. And you know the that's the part you got to figure out. How are they going to finesse some things? You know, a lot of times, the 2-year contracts, I think they're kind of easier to work around the salary cap with those. The 2-3 years, the multi-year salary caps, especially on Madden. I don't know how many of y'all play Madden, but on Madden, it's a lot easier on when you to kind of spread that money out and you see the hit every year isn't as bad when you have more years on the contract. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But safety, here we go. Safety upgrade is a must. Tart average one pass breakup and no picks every year. I see. I struggle with this one because when I watch Tart, I'm like, that's a really good football player. I don't know why there's been the lack of takeaways with him, but like just seeing him on the field, like the way he flies around, like his versatility, be able to play up high, too high, single high in the box, how good he is, versus the run, like a lot of things that he does. And I remember watching Tart one year and kind of just being bored with watching him because it seemed like super simple for him. Like it was like, well, he's just in the right place all the time. So I can't, I don't know why the numbers are down, not just for Tart, but Ward in general, right? Like they just haven't forced takeaways. I don't know, but I do know, like when you just watch them, they're both really good safeties, really good. I I think they play at definitely an above average. They're above average in their play, but below average in being able to take the ball away. I would say that. But just in general, like watching them, like they are good safeties. We'll see though. Marcus Williams from the New Orleans Saints. Safety is a tough one for me. Safety is almost like the running back of the defense, where you can get production. How can I put this? Marcel Harris, like, there's no 49ers haven't had a safety like him maybe since like Goldson and those guys that like he's gonna create takeaways. And one thing I watched and I've noticed with Marcel Harris, and I know they moved him to linebacker. I think he struggled. Marcel Harris struggled a little bit more like just in pure like space. Like when he was asked to, so there's a lot of people, there's a misconception of Marcel Harris. What I saw, his coverage in more like man type stuff, really good. Or like some quarters match, really good. But I felt like sometimes when he was off in space a little too much, that was when he had more of his issues. So what they do, they moved him closer to the line of scrimmage. Go ahead, play linebacker because he's terrific man coverage against linebackers, guys like that. He's terrific in the box. He does a lot of those things extremely well. So I think I really like Marcel Harris. I thought his coverage was a lot better than given credit for. And he did some really good things where I'm like, that was sexy. That was sexy. Let me see if I can bring something up. I know we ain't really, because if we're talking about taking the ball away, forcing turnover, like Marcel Harris has done that more than any safety the 49ers have had. But there was this one play where he, and it was just so beautiful. I have to show y'all this. And it shows kind of the ability that he has. Let me see if I can find it. Man, he was guarding Mike Thomas. And it was so beautiful. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Did I find it? Hold on. Oh my goodness, I found it. All right, here we go. Like, watch how beautiful this is. Like, oh my, like, oh gosh. See, I'm already getting excited. And these are the things that really excite me about football players and things like that. And things I pay attention to, but maybe, the casual, I don't want to say the casual fan, but most fans aren't watching all 22 to see these things. So we always notice when guys get beat or, if you make a play, like it's really either great or terrible when y'all know the defensive backs. But watch this play. You got Marcel Harris here. So clearly this is like a quarters. All right. So you have the receiver. He kind of dives inside. Now, once he dives inside, Marcel Harris right here, he's responsible for the receiver. Now, watch what he does to maintain his leverage. One, stay square in his pedal. Awesome. All right. Then he breaks down this way. And then watch what he does now. Watch him square back up. Square back up. Now he made it to where the receiver who dove hard inside, which is Mike Thomas here, dove hard inside. Like, now you can't cross my face because I won with my leverage. And then the break on that. I mean, look at that. Like coverage, and I'll show y'all one more time. Coverage, especially for safeties, doesn't get much better than that. And in this game, he put on the clinic. He put on the coverage clinic in this game. I'm talking about Marcel Harris here. I'm much higher on Marcel Harris than a lot of other people. I mean, I thought he was terrific there. Like, now he did have like the weird, I don't want to say like, busted coverage, but, I think he struggled a little bit sometimes when he was off in space too much. But when you gave Marcel Harris just like, hey, this is your job, like, in this clear to him, and, oh man, really good. Really good. Love Marcel Harris. Anyways, I had another person that clicked in. It was Johnson, Coach Johnson. He disappeared. I'll put the link back in here for anybody else. If you have, any thoughts, and so far, if you haven't been in there already, for the whole time, we talked about a few things, and you can touch on any of them if you want to. Click the link right there. We talked about Tom Brady and how most likely won't be a 49ers. It sounded like he was committed to returning to Tampa Bay and running it back towards a championships, trying to push towards that. All right, awesome. Really sound like Tom Brady won't be a 49er. All right, and then aside from that, you have we talked about Jimmy Garoppolo. The 49ers have not restructured any contracts, like anything to really create that space that you need to go out and get free agents. So does that mean that he will be either traded or released in the next day or so? We're going to be looking out for that. And I mean, those are the two main things. So here we go.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Coach?
Hanging in there. You just got back from vacation?
I don't even know if I would call it vacation, man. I mean, I guess because I work at home, you could say it's vacation, but it was. I don't know. I don't know if I would call it vacation though. It wasn't anything relaxing about it, but good food out there. Good food.
It's not vacation because you're married now.
Well, I think it wasn't vacation because it was like when we got there, it was just go, 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 and then next thing you know, we're coming back home. So there wasn't any like relaxation aspect to it at all.
All right. So what do you think about Justin Reed? For me, I know a lot of people like they're talking about Marcus Williams and the big names like Honey Badger and all that, but I think on the DL, I think Justin Reed might be the best safety, and he's young. I mean, if you watch how the Texans have used him, they used him in the box these last like 2 years, but they really used him in a post role. And like if you watch him from that post, Croc, I don't know that I've seen a guy play with that kind of range since like Earl. Like he is all over the field. And when you watch his 40 timer, when you get his 40, he ran a 4.4. Like, some guys the 40 doesn't translate on the field, right? But like when you watch Reed, it does.
Yeah, no, he's somebody who I think is kind of underrated. You saw that closing speed he had when he played against the 49ers. I thought more times than not, he was in a really good position, flying around, making plays, making stops. He's someone, we'll see how much money he gets on the open market. I know he's not opposed to returning back to the Houston Texans. We'll see what happens with that. But no, he is definitely one of the better young safeties in the NFL. And it's crazy because, his big brother is Eric Reed. Obviously, spent a lot of time with the 49ers, was drafted first round. I think the 49ers traded up for him. But yeah, I really like him.
And I think the other thing you have to consider with the Niners safety is they do have a profile, right? Like if you guys look at they don't like little safeties. If you look at the guys that are on their roster, like Jimmy Ward's the smallest one when he's 5'11", 190-ish. The rest of the guys are like 6'1", 205, 210, 215. Like, so when you start looking at those guys that are kind of those undersized safeties, it doesn't seem like those are the guys that they're really interested in.
Yeah, there could be something there. Why do you think that would be?
I think they like I mean, at least in the past, they've liked to play those guys in the box, right? You've got to play. They ask their safeties to play, linebacker run fits. So I don't know that you're really interested in a guy that's 185 or 189 playing in that bubble B gap.
Right. Now, have you watched money on any money? Have you watched film on any prospects? Because we have this comment here and it says a lot of fans want Jalen Petrie, but he's more of a nickel corner than a safety. Do you have any thoughts on that if you've watched him yet?
I watched a little of him. I did see him playing a lot of like that, nickel or I guess in the Saban defense of the star role. I've watched like one game of him, so I don't want to like put I don't want to comment so much on a player that I haven't watched multiple games on. The one that I really did is that I did watch Lewis Sign. I felt like you could see his speed, but I don't know that he's like the playmaker back there that you really want. And to me, I'd take him maybe late in the draft, but maybe a box safety, but I don't see him as a playmaker.
All right. Man, I appreciate you coming on. Oh, wait, real quick, I want to get your thoughts. 49ers haven't really restructured anyone to free up like that money. So right now they're heading into free agency, which really kind of unofficially starts today with the tampering period. Do you expect to see Jimmy Garoppolo moved? Do you think that's why they haven't really restructured anything? Or do you think they just I don't know. I don't even know what the alternative is.
I mean, the alternative would be they've got to. I think there's a couple contracts they can restructure. Is Ward, Armstead. I think there's one more. I mean, ideally, I think you would probably want to move Jimmy, cut Jimmy, and do those restructures and give yourself even more salary cap because aren't they in the dead like 9 mil right now?
I believe it was 7 mil, and that's what's interesting to me because you're kind of over the cap right now heading into free agency. Obviously, the big thing you can do is to free up money is figure out a way to move Jimmy Garoppolo, whether it's through trade or just releasing him, flat out releasing him, which I just can't see them doing that. But what do you think their plan is right now? Because there are holes that need to be filled. There are players that they would either want to resign their own or go out in free agency and get a couple guys. Like it's not a team that just doesn't resign, like sign people or
Right.
sign free agents. So Jimmy, the contract right now, especially with them not restructuring anyone, it makes it pretty difficult to do that. So why do you think they've kind of dragged their feet with this?
I think they're trying to get max value for Jimmy. Obviously, that's what it seems like. They want to get something for him. And in this quarterback market, like if you're a team like if Russell Wilson's out there, if Aaron Rodgers is out there, and now Deshaun Watson is out there, like wouldn't you explore those opportunities before you even consider Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, I would. And I think another one the 49ers need to watch out in the next couple of days is if Philly makes that move for Deshaun Watson, then it's going to put Jalen Hurts on the market. And for me, he's more appealing than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's cheaper. He's cheaper. He can move. That he's young. So, I mean, if Philly gets Watson and then Jalen Hurts is on the market, it probably takes away another team that's interested in Jimmy Garoppolo. Within, if that happens within the next, day or two.
All right. And so, do you have any prediction on if Jimmy will be on the roster? Let's say Wednesday comes, right? And that's the official free agency day. Will Jimmy Garoppolo still be a 49er?
I'm going to say no. And a little something somebody pointed out to me on Twitter. If you look at Jimmy Garoppolo's Twitter page, he's in Charleston, Carolina.
He does have there's no trade clause. It expires in a couple of days, but they're telling him, hey, you can go seek out a trade. Maybe he's going out to Carolina and see if he fits in with what they're doing. And if so, maybe that's why he's there, kind of looking to see, how they are. But I appreciate you coming on, Coach Johnson. I'm gonna get to the next caller.
All right, dude. Later.
All right. We got Papa Dragon coming on real quick before we get to Papa Dragon. I see a lot of people talking about the players that the 49ers can restructure. And I get that. I know they can restructure Armstead. I know, Ebicam. I know all the, but my thing is they haven't done it. So they either feel there's no need to create any cap space because, well, we have a plan to get rid of Jimmy and that's going to free up space. Or, again, I don't even know what the other part to or is. They just don't want any free agents. I don't know. They'll figure it out, I'm sure. But Papa Dragon, I definitely want to hear your perspective on it.
Hey, what's up? What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm chilling. How you doing?
Oh man, I am tripping over here, man. I can't because of Deshaun Jackson. I can't even go get a massage no more. My wife's not letting me leave the house. My goodness, the poster child for variety rub and tug massage therapy has ruined it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Honestly, teams are desperate if they're willing to take on all that extra drama and criticism. I call it a Tebowism. It's like when a person starts attracting all this extra attention, people don't understand that coaches don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like the reality TV shows in their locker room. These guys are all about football.
Yeah.
But because of the lack of talent out there is the reason why, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be starting for some team next year.
I'll say this real quick about Deshaun Watson, and I don't want to speak too much on the situation because I don't know. I don't know about those things, right? But just because you kind of talked about being about football, locker room, things like that. From my wife, her best friend, she lived in Houston for a bunch of years, and we talked about we're kind of me and my best friend, we're talking about the Deshaun Watson situation, and she's like, you know what, Eric, like, she's like, I don't know a whole lot about football, but I've been around Deshaun Watson several times, and she says the Deshaun Watson that I met and I've been around is one of the best humans you'll ever meet.
Right.
So she's like, I don't know about that whole legal stuff, but as far as who he is, he's like a great person, great man. Now, again, we could say that, and then you say, well, what about all this that's coming out? And that kind of contradicts what she's saying. But as someone who, she doesn't have to say anything positive about him. Like, it's just all of us. We in the hotel room, we drinking and everything, She don't got to say anything positive about him, but she was like,
Right.
best person. And she was like, everybody loves him. Every time he walked into a room, it was like, it's Deshaun Watson. Like, he was the man out there, and she was like, he never came off as like cocky, arrogant, anything, just an amazing person. So I don't know. But that was just, just kind of hearing that from someone.
No,
So as far as him going into a
right.
locker room, maybe other people would be like, well, okay, we see this situation, whatever. There's no criminal charges now, which I think works to his advantage. But I think a lot of people are going to like the person, and maybe having a conversation with him, they'll realize, okay, I don't know what that, I don't want to touch on that situation. That's sticky, but you get where I'm going.
Well, yeah. I think there's the interpersonal, the whole interpersonal aspect of the situation. But my point is the media, and now you have media on top of super media. So what I'm saying is that I hope Deshaun Watson is ready, because innocent, guilty. I definitely don't think he's guilty. I think if he's guilty of anything, it's bad judgment. Like my boy Chris Sims said, he goes, when he has massagers come over, he makes sure that his wife gets one too, so that way they're both in the same room. You know what I mean? So that these kind of things can't happen, or his wife is present. Because there's always going to be people out there to try to extort you, and it definitely seems like an extortion situation. But it also seems like he was also taking advantage of it. The point I'm trying to make is, it's not about what he did and what he's done. It's going to be how the media reacts to it and detracts from it. Because it's like anything else. It's like, even with Tim Tebow, it was the media it was the media that just kept blowing him up. Oh, he's running across the field without his shirt on. Same thing with Kaepernick. It's the media. It's going to be answering those non-football questions, asking those non-football questions. That's the big difference right now. And you see what's happening in the offseason right now. It's like Debo can't even be in Miami without people making some kind of story out of it. So ultimately, when it comes to NFL, there's not enough starting quarterbacks. I do believe that Jimmy G is going to probably wind up at the Colts, probably for a second rounder. We probably will have to trade Jimmy, probably a pick. We'll get the Colts second rounder, maybe a player, is what I'm thinking is probably going to happen, because they're the team that makes the most sense for the situation. Because what they didn't want is a free thinking Carson Wentz ruining a situation like he did for the Colts, right? And audibling instead of handing the ball off and stuff like that, turning the ball over, 2nd and 5. There's a difference with the turnover aspects of Carson Wentz than Jimmy G. So ultimately, I think he winds up at the Colts. At least that's what I'm hearing. I also believe that Tom Brady was never in the cards for the 49ers, unless he was in the cards for the 49ers. So it's another thing about the whole media just taking stuff and spinning it. And then when you start spinning it, then it comes as a bad reflection on Trey, because whenever you stick the word project on a player, that's something they have to shake. You know what I mean? They got to kind of shake that whole label. But personally, I am 100% confident that the 49ers will reach the playoffs with Trey Lance this year. I think they would have reached it reached it last year with Trey Lance. But quarterback wise, Jimmy's gone. I don't know when he's gone. And then I think the other thing is the whole free agency thing. free agency is almost as bad as drafting players in the first round. It's really a 50-50 kind of a mess. A lot of times you'll get a player. It's so rare. It's so rare that it works. It's like it worked for the Rams last year. It worked for Tampa Bay before that. So naturally, overall, people try to oversimplify it, and then that becomes like this trend. But if I'm the 49ers right now, I am not going to reach for nobody. And this is why. If you draft players, it's important not to assume that the player is ready to start day one. You and I both know they have to adjust their bodies, adjust their strength, adjust sleeping habits, eating habits. They have to change their whole lives to be pros. So it's not to say that some of the players we drafted last year aren't ready. Sometimes you get lucky. The draft where we got Bosa. Bosa was a full-grown man when he came into the league. I've never seen a player look like him come in the league that literally looked like he had been playing professional football for 7 years already. That's what Bosa looked like physically. That's a grown man. Where's he gonna grow? How can he improve? Where's he gonna grow? I think the second pick was Debo. That's an excellent draft.
That was a good draft, but real quick before I get you out of here, Papa Dragon.
Yeah.
Not Frank Clark, excuse me. I'm looking at kind of my Twitter feed right now, and Zadarius Smith let go by the Green Bay Packers. Last statement from you. Any chance 49ers kind of go in and maybe potentially try to get Zadarius Smith, or do you say nope, 49ers will pass?
No, because they got two young linebackers right now that are hungry. Yeah. They're not expensive. They put a boatload of money into the mic. So I'm gonna say no. I think they believe in their program. They're gonna believe in their defensive line depth. We're gonna let DJ Jones walk, and he only plays 61% of the snaps. I'm not diminishing what he does, but what I am saying is that they have line depth. So yeah, I think
he is an edge. He's an edge rusher though. But
yeah,
I'm gonna get you off now, Papa Dragon.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna be back online tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I'll holler at you. But thanks for having us on. Please like and subscribe to Mr. Crocker.
You're doing an excellent job, that,
young man. Excellent job.
Oh, thank you.
All right, we're out.
All right. Shout out to our guy Papa Dragon. I've been looking through the chat, man. I'm seeing all the comments, and it's interesting. I will say this. We talked about 49ers and restructuring contracts and that type of thing. Looking at it right now, some of the news coming out. Oh wow, Packers are releasing Billy Turner. Interesting one right there. But there have been some restructures by some of these teams. Here we go. Got some extensions going on. So we'll see. I mean, that's something that we're definitely going to keep an eye on for the 49ers to see how active they are with the restructures today. And, do they look to free up any money? Because eventually, I mean, it's not looking good salary cap wise now. And we are officially on Jimmy Garoppolo watch. We've been over the weekend, but I think it really kicks in today. Kelly Witherspoon finalizing the contract extension to stay with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I expected that. Kelly Witherspoon played great last year. Played great. All right, real quick. So shout out to my guy Mike Shields. Clearly he watches and listens to Locked On 49ers. I actually want to flame Crock for taking the third and not negotiating on Locked On. What the F, Crock? Okay, let me defend myself real quick. All right. So for those of you who aren't tuned in to Locked On 49ers, which I know most of y'all are. But we had a crossover episode with someone from the Colts, and they gave me a trade offer, right? And they were like, okay, would you take this trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? And there's a third round pick. Now, I panicked just a little bit. And the only reason why I panicked a little bit was because, one, I was not expecting that question. I wasn't expecting to be put on the spot that way. So I didn't know what picks they had. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I had it pulled up on my screen right here in front of me, like, okay, let me see. Well, the Colts have this pick and they have this pick, so maybe I could finesse it this way. I didn't know, so I kind of went into the whole thing blind. So it was just like, well, hell, I know right now if a team offered a third for Jimmy Garoppolo right now, I would take it. Hell yeah, give me a third, whatever. Like I would take that third. So I went into it knowing I would accept the third, and I didn't have anything pulled up in front of me to counter offer. So my bad, y'all. My bad. They put me on the spot. They put me on the spot. My apologies. My apologies. My guy, K. Dot said, man, Crock did the same thing. Again, if the 49ers were to get a third right now, you get a third round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, I would take that. I would take that. For me, the most important thing is, one, getting him off your books. Two, we're talking about someone, and I think fans kind of forget about this aspect of it, but is his arm about to fall off? He can't stay healthy. Like, he's hurt right now. He can't throw a football until July. He won't throw, for whatever team trades for him, he won't throw a football until training camp. So it's like, I get it. Like, we feel like he's more valuable than maybe a third or whatever. Some people, I think he's worth a third round pick. I think you could potentially get more on that depending on how many teams are looking for his services. But he's a third round pick guy. All right. Might even be able to argue for it. But, third round pick. Potentially can get a little higher if there's a bidding war. But he's not healthy. And he hasn't been able to stay healthy. He hasn't been able, so it's like you think like, oh, well, no, 49 should get this and get that. And, well, no, he's worth that. He ain't worth shit right now. He can't even throw a football for anybody. So you got to hope that somebody is just desperate enough to offer anything. And the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is still on a contract, and again, I'm not saying he's a bad football player. I think Jimmy Garoppolo he's a solid starting NFL quarterback. I think most teams would be better with Jimmy Garoppolo than without. At least teams that need a quarterback. The way he's viewed with fans and things like that, I think that's off. But he's not healthy, and he struggled to stay healthy. And the team that's going to trade for him, not only we're thinking of just his play. You're not just trading for Jimmy Garoppolo. You're trading for Jimmy Garoppolo, who will be in the last year of his contract. You got to pay him $27 million. You got to give up capital. He might just walk, right? Or maybe they go into it and they want to restructure him. So you got to really want him. You don't even know his arm is falling off. You don't even know, can't even throw a football. There's a lot that goes into it. So if someone offered me a third round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, I take it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Let's see what my guy, Medic Mike, man, if somebody offers you a third round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, do you think that's
that was me? That was me that made the comment. I'm here to say I'm not trying to hear it, Croc. I'm not trying to hear it. It's not about what you think Jimmy's worth. It's about negotiating. If he offered you a third, you negotiate. That means he thinks he's worth a third. It doesn't matter what you think he's worth.
I didn't have it in front. Like that was my bad. That was a off the cusp question. It wasn't like we talked about it like, all right, hey, and we're gonna talk about Croc, we're gonna put you on the spot and we're gonna offer a trade to you and you get to negotiate. Like there was none of that. So I didn't have their draft stuff and where they're drafted. I didn't have any of that pulled up. So I panicked. My bad, Mike. My bad, Mike.
Yeah. I heard that excuse. I was like, nope, I'm not buying it. Normally we're on the same page with a lot, but that one, no, I was like, I gotta come on and let him know that was dumb. Like you should at least ask for an extra third or fourth or something, wherever they pick. It don't matter.
I know, my bad.
I just had to come on and mention that. But as far as Jimmy, yeah, I think he's gone by Wednesday. He's gone by Wednesday. They're gonna open up. That space up so they can hopefully make some, re-signings and make some moves. But other than that, it should be a fun next couple of days.
Now, here I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I forgot what my question was because I went to do something else. Damn it. I'll think about it in a second. But damn, what was my question? I just had it. Too many hits to the head. And I'm looking at the comments here and Caesar's Nary Smith. The Packers.
By the way, I'm a hard no on Frank Clark. I don't want him at all.
Yeah. Well, to me, he doesn't fit the culture of the 49ers, right? I feel like
exactly.
They have some hard ass, like they have some aggressive, they got physical guys. He doesn't take me as like the character that they get, and they've built their team around a very specific mindset and thought process, and very seldomly do you see them kind of venture away from that.
Yeah, he's a head case, and I'm not. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a fit at all. So when I saw that they had interest in him, I was like, that's one I took with a grain of salt. That didn't seem to fit the bill for me.
Hey, real quick, did you hear anything? Did you see anything in this? My guy Aaron says your thoughts on Trent Williams allegedly saying he wants to play for a contender. I know he was on. What show was he on? Either The Pivot or I Am Athlete. I think he was on one of those shows.
Yeah, wasn't Chad Ochocinco the one that said that? Like he said that about Trent Williams?
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I didn't hear it, so I don't know the context of it. But I would say this: the 49ers are 100% contenders. Like
100%.
people are saying, like 2 out of the last 3 years they've been in the NFC Championship and another time in the Super Bowl. So as far as like being a contender and things like that, the 49ers are there. Yeah. Now maybe
we're the number 5 odds to win the Super Bowl.
The number 5 odds with rookie Trey Lance. Now you would maybe say, well, they have a rookie. You know, the odds are stacked against you winning a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. So maybe that's what he's thinking, where it's just like, well, nobody's ever done it. And how good does this team and roster have to be to do it? So from that standpoint, maybe someone else. But again, I didn't hear the context of this, so I don't want to go off, too far in it.
Yeah, I saw the headline. I didn't hear the context either, but I also asked people too, when's the last time you saw a top 3 pick with this much talent go to a roster this good? It doesn't happen. People typically do not trade up into the top 3. They usually don't have the ability to trade in the top 3 when you have a roster this good. I can't think of a single rookie quarterback like that's highly touted like Trey Lance that's gone to a pretty complete roster, a roster that you expect to compete for a championship year in and year out. I can't think of one.
That's tough. There's a lot of that's tough. Just the expectations on that in general, with knowing the ups and downs that come with being a rookie and not really having that opportunity to go through some of the lumps as the other guys, because every little thing is going to be highly scrutinized, which it typically is. But a lot of times people push it off. Well, it's a rookie, whatever. He'll get better. But with Trey doesn't really have that luxury. Now, the only other situation that was somewhat similar, but again, like you said, the quarterback wasn't as highly touted. You know where I'm going with this? You know a team? Rookie quarterback came in, had to play.
The only one I'm thinking of is kind of Pittsburgh. I mean, with Ben Roethlisberger, but he was a second round pick.
No, Ben was the first. Ben was a first round pick. He was like pick 11 or 12 or something, wasn't he?
Roethlisberger, I believe he was the second round pick. We got to check that.
Hold on, I'm looking right now. I think Ben Roethlisberger, I think he was drafted pick 11. I don't know why that's in my head. Let's see. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. I believe Ben Roethlisberger was drafted.
Yeah, maybe I'm tripping then.
Oh, yeah. First round, pick 11, 2004.
Oh, I'm tripping then. I don't know who I'm thinking of.
So not big, but he did go to a good team. They had good. They leaned on the run game. Didn't ask him to do a whole lot. I think they had Tommy Maddox. I believe he went down with an injury. In my memory served me. 2004. That was a lot of years ago now, but I believe that's what the situation. And they leaned on the running game, leaned on the running backs that they had. Had some tough guys, Hines Ward, some of those other guys, and they rode that pretty deep. Yeah. He had a really good rookie year. They didn't ask him to do a whole lot. And
no,
also,
that defense
Pittsburgh,
tough.
everybody, they know that defense, especially in the 2000s, what that defense was. But no, Dak Prescott going to the Dallas Cowboys. He had a terrific rookie year, and I remember watching it. I watched all the Cowboys games because my brother's a Cowboys fan, so I just wait to hate on them. But it was like we're gonna hand the ball off to Zeke, and then every once in a while, can you just make a throw here? Can you just make a throw there? It was. And he rode that. I mean, the defense played lights out that year for the Cowboys. He had Dez Bryant. He had Witten. He had, he had the running back behind him, plethora of running backs, and like the best one of the best offensive lines in like the last 15 years. It was a great offensive line, and they rode that. So there is and then when they needed him to kind of be a little bit more, y'all might remember this game against the Packers because the Cowboys had a first round bye, and they played the Packers in the divisional round and lost. But Dak gave them a chance, and just the way you see his kind of development curve. Now, again, you watch Dak Prescott the next year. Zeke missed a bunch of games because he had the little issue with grabbing titties and all that stuff, right? So he had to miss games or whatever. But you watch that year, and I believe the Cowboys went 8-8, and Dak Prescott kind of struggled. He like half the season didn't even throw for over 200 yards in games. It was up and down. And I think that was just a guy kind of going through his lumps and really learning. But I think right now, Dak Prescott, who early on you probably wouldn't have even seen this coming there now, but he's a guy you can count on to just throw the ball. Typically, maybe not because of 49ers, but typically a guy you can just, throw the ball around with. But any last takes before I get the next caller
on? I would love a Chandler Jones signing.
That's a name. And again, we got to figure out what's the 49ers salary cap looking like, because we don't know it right now. And again, not too many restructures, and we'll see what happens with Jimmy Garoppolo. But Chandler Jones would be nice. And again, 49ers do have some guys, they got Ebicam, potentially bring back a guy like Arden Key. So I think even for Chandler Jones, who wants to win, maybe they tell him, hey, you come here, you don't even got to rush every down. But
I think there's something about a dude who you've watched wreck your team for years. I mean, because he's been a pain in our ass for a while, and he's good. You put him opposite of Bosa, I think that's kind of akin to that Von Miller move. You're now adding that elite player older in his career to that, the other side of that edge. I think you're really talking about a dangerous front seven at that point.
Yeah. Now, do you see them doing that with Ebicam still on the roster? Because he kind of finished strong.
I think if Chandler shows interest and you can get him at the right price, whatever happens to Ebicam happens to Ebicam at that point. You're like, hey, bro, like we'll make your salary fit, whether we letting you go, trading you, restructuring. It is what it is.
All right, here we go. So, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm gonna get to the next caller.
I appreciate you, Crock.
All right. Appreciate everybody that's in here right now. All over 450 of you. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm trying to push towards 10,000 subscribers. And I think we are, where we at, y'all? Hold on. Where we at? We're not at 10,000. We are at 9,200 something. So hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, man. Let's push towards 10,000. Let's go. Here we go. That's the number we at right now. Let's get that up. All right. Here we go. All right, here we go. Last caller. Coming on. Swan Song. How you doing, man? Good morning.
What's up, Crocker? You hear me?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Yeah, so this is pretty anxious times right now. I know 49er fans are so anxious of what's going to happen with Jimmy and freaking out and like, hey, this is dumper for nothing and all that stuff. And I mean, I get it, but I think everyone just needs to chill out. I think it's going to happen. I'm pretty confident, like, unless they haven't restructured any of these guys yet, right? And they're 10, 11 million over the cap. It's got to say that Jimmy is like the final negotiations are happening, right? Like the deal's probably done. Like steps 1, 2, 3 are done. Like I use this analogy. When you go buy a car, right? You talk to the guy and you go, okay, let's agree on a price, right? You agree on a price. And then step 2, he's trying to sell you, extra stuff. Then he's trying to sell you extended warranty and all that stuff. You might not get that extra stuff, or you might not get the extended warranty, but you're still driving off with the car, Right. So I think that's how confident they are. I think, and then another thing is the other team that wants him has to get Jimmy in the books too, because they want to make sure where their money is freed up and who they can get, right? Especially if they have a lot of cap, like say the Colts, who have a team that has a lot of cap. They want to figure out, okay, well, what's our cap situation look like after we get Jimmy, and we got to get this done by the 16th because we're going to be obviously making moves, or they should be making moves with the cap that they have, right? So I think So what I'm trying to say is I've been trying to tell everyone, like in Grant's Discord or whomever I talk to with the 49ers, is like, just relax, just chill out. Like, I would be worried, like, if it's the end of the week and it doesn't happen. Like, I'm not even that stressed, even if it goes past the 16th, because one, I don't think we're going to lose any of our internal free agents, meaning that there's going to be a time where, let's say, like Lakin and DJ, right? We might lose them anyways, but my guess is it's going to take some time for them to get the offer that they want, and then they'll give the last refusal to the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
If they say they want to be a 49er, they'll give that courtesy, right? They'll say, hey, so-and-so team is giving me $12 million a year. Can you guys do it? And then the 49ers can decide at that time. But that there's a period for them to get their deals in, right? It's probably going to take a week or two, right? It's not just going to be one team that wants Lakin. It's probably going to be like 3 or 4 teams, right? And they have to go through the whole negotiation process. So I think, I think it's going to be fine. I hope it's today, just because of course, I'm anxious about it too, even though I'm saying this, but I think some people are just crazy nervous. Like, just get rid of him for nothing. Like, I think we're going to get something for him, because what fans think of Jimmy and what GMs and other people think of Jimmy are totally different. I think that's
what other players think of Jimmy.
Well,
real quick, what do you think other players, like opposing teams, how do they feel about Jimmy? Opposing team players.
Right. I think because all these guys talk to each other, right? They're all friends. Like, all these guys from one team to another, they have a connection somewhere on the team, right? Whether they played with them on another NFL team or in college or whatever. And of course, your first thing that you're going to say with your boys is like, man, that guy can't play, or he doesn't do this right, or he does all this. But then someone on the 49ers will say, no, man, like, yeah, that's true. But what quarterback doesn't do those things, right? But he's a leader. Like, these are the things that we don't know in the locker room where Jimmy's leadership is, like being humble, working with others, all those things GMs value, because you don't know when you bring a quarterback in, right? It's like kind of like a chemistry experiment, right? Like, I think that's how all quarterbacks are. Like, I've said this time and time again, any person, any position, just quarterback is like the most focused. If Brady doesn't go on the Patriots, is he still Tom Brady?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have to happen for a player to be who the player he is, right? Of course, hard work will always help, right? That's going to always help any situation. But if you're a hard worker and you go in a crap situation, man, you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know what's going to. You might end up being an okay player, but every person has to end up in the right situation. If you look at all the GOATs, right? I mean, this is kind of circular logic, but you look at Brady, you look at Montana, you look at Steve Young, you look at, all these guys, Brett Favre, all of them had coaches or someone to nurture them, right? So it's like, depending on the situation that you get into. So I'm sorry, to finally answer your question. Like, there's going to be a person on the 49ers, or many people on the 49ers, that says, hey, Jimmy is that it factor. And no one's going to want to gamble. Look at with Wentz. On paper, he's better than Jimmy in every way, right? Even on the eye test, he's better than Jimmy, right? But look at the Colts got rid of him so quick. Why? It's because, dude doesn't fit. If the guy doesn't fit, it just doesn't fit, right? Yeah. Like, if a guy fits, how do you lose to the Jaguars, to make the playoffs? I mean, I know it's not just him, but, dude, that killed him right there. I mean, I'm not even sure. I mean, sure, winning will solve things. Like, say, if you won that game and they won a playoff game, you might have been still a Colt. But there still would have been, man, there's something weird about that guy, and that's obviously true. Look at Kirk Cousins. Look at him. He's like, this man's made like $250 million, right? And he's got a 500 record. Like, what is it about him? Like, yeah, he has the numbers, he has all the things, but there's something about him that is, like, you've heard it, like Trent Williams said, like, when Trent Williams, when they got Alex Smith, one of the quotes from Trent Williams was, man, he's like, I feel like we won the lotto getting Alex Smith, right? Like, I mean, after, because he replaced Kirk Cousins, right? So there's some things about a person, and obviously we trash on Jimmy, rightfully so, right? Because we see all the crazy boneheaded stuff. Like, are you kidding me? But from
What was your reaction when you threw that interception on the goal line against the Packers?
Oh, you mean to Kittle, rolling out the Kittle, right? Like it was, yeah, that was, first of all, every time I see him roll out right, I'm like, oh man, no, what are you doing? And then of course it happens. Like I could read the future. And then I was like, oh, are you freaking kidding me? But at that point, I'm so frustrated in Jimmy at that point, even that it was a close game, that I was just kind of like, whatever. It's like, just, I've come to accept it almost, like it's just, hey, like this is our bed. Now we just got to lie in it. So yeah,
I got one more thing for you. All right. Before I get you out of here.
Okay.
All right. And we'll end on this. What's your favorite Jimmy Garoppolo moment?
Oh my God. My favorite Jimmy Garoppolo moment. Man, I don't know if I have one. Like, I don't
You gotta
know.
have one.
No,
you played, 4 or 5 years with the night. Like, you gotta have your favorite Jimmy moment. Okay, I'll start. I'll start with mine. All right. And this is, I think it was a touchdown throw against Seattle when he first stepped on the field. Because I think that throw, and obviously what was followed by that, the 5 wins and all that, it just ignited like this faith that the 49ers were headed in the right direction. And although the 49ers didn't win it all, and that sucks, but like I do think there were some good moments with Jimmy Garoppolo, but it all started with that, where it was just like, this is the guy. This is the guy. And, years later, still kind of chasing that same feeling that we had then. But, there's a lot of good. That was my favorite moment. So you thought about yours.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand what you're saying there, because that gave people hope, right? Like, to be honest with you, I was already checked out of the Niners. I've been a fan since the mid-late 80s, but the Niners got to a point where I got so checked out of the Niners. Like after Kaepernick and all that stuff, and we had all those bad years, I just stopped focusing it. I remember that when we got, I would still follow we got Jimmy Garoppolo. And then I remember the whole news about the 5-game winning streak, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna.
Oh wait, you didn't watch the games at all?
I didn't watch those games. No, I didn't watch those games at all. I didn't watch those games at all. I was checked out. Man, it's like I get to a point it's just like I'm a Laker fan, right? But I'm also the type of fan where if it's a bad product, I can't watch it, man. I just can't do it. I know.
I have struggled to watch the Lakers. Matter of fact, last night the Lakers were playing, and I was watching Anna. Yeah, what's it called on Netflix? Anna.
Oh, Inventing Anna. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lakers. I've had this kind of struggle, and I'm not like a bandwagon Laker. I've been a Laker fan since '95, since Eddie Jones was wearing number 25. But it's been hard to watch them, and I'll watch them. But it's just like there's no sense of urgency. But with the 49ers, I think I have even a higher sense of love for them. I watch every game. Now, the one time I turned the game off, it was when they were playing the Buffalo Bills. This had to be maybe 2016, and there was it was 3rd and 30 for Buffalo. And the 49ers just getting throttled. They're getting destroyed. And it's 3rd and 30, and they give up a 32-yard run. And I turned the game off. Now, outside of that, I've watched every game. I've watched every second of every game outside of that. But that was one game where I get what you're saying, where you kind of check out. Because I know that Bills game, I checked out, and I can't watch these guys anymore. I can't watch this. But again, I watched the rest of the season. I watched every. So yeah, I'm not with you on not watching the 49 games, especially 5 games in a row. With Jimmy Garoppolo starting, you didn't watch those. That's kind of crazy, man.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch any of that. I was probably doing travel ball with my kid at that time, or whatever it was. It's just totally checked out. But yeah, so I'm sure there's moments in there. Nothing that comes to mind, because I always thought he was okay. Even 2019, I was like, okay, he's good enough, right? He's good enough. But I never was that down on him, but I was never up on him. Sure, he's made some plays here and there, but nothing where I'm like, oh, I'm pulling for this guy. I get this guy's story, I didn't see any of that. It was just to me, it's I can't believe so many guys, hearing all these people, genuinely love him for so long now. Because at first in 2019, you're just thinking, oh, they're just backing up because that's their QB. But now that we're in 2021 and they're still saying the same thing and double downing on those things, it's got to be that, yeah, he's well liked, or I don't know, or he's that popular kid in high school, where chicks hang out with him and then other guys hang out with him because the chicks hang out with him. Like, you don't think he's that cool, but the chicks like him, so then you just hang out with him. Like, I don't know. So I don't know if it's that or something else, but so I think I can't wait to get in for Trey's season to start. Like, I can't wait. Like, good and bad. Like, I think
you better not check out on him.
No. See, because that's another thing. I live in LA, right? So there's a lot of 49er fans, but I don't have any friends that are 49er fans. So not until I got into this, like starting from last year into the whole, you, Grant, like all these people, right? That serves up 49ers content. I'm in it now. Like, this is my new hobby. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm in it. At least I don't have a chance to check out because I'll be in there. What's it called? Cheering or whatever with the 49ers. But I haven't been this excited for a QB since Steve Young. I mean, I was excited with Cap for sure. I was excited for Cap. I thought we were gonna have a dynasty in our hands, and it just all fell away like right through our fingers, like in such a freakish, like in a year or two. I came from like, man, we're gonna be another dynasty. We're young. We got all these defensive players. We got Cap. We're going to be another dynasty. And then it just all crumbled so quick. It was like so crazy, right? Like, Justin Smith retires. Pat Willis is not feeling good. Bowman gets a terrible injury, like all these things. And then the stuff with Harbaugh and stuff like that. It's just like, man, and Alden Smith. It's like, man, what kind of luck are we having here? So I'm so excited with getting Trey. Seems like the perfect prospect, man. Like, I mean, the athletics and all that stuff, that's fine. Like, I'm excited about that. But that's a dime a dozen to me, because I think all these guys are so talented and gifted, right? But what excites me about him is if all the things are true about his competitiveness, his work ethic, his organization. Like, I remember watching the stuff early on. I'm sorry that I'm kind of rambling on here, but
do your thing.
But the early on when they were talking about how he's grown up with his dad, right? Because his dad was, played professional ball, was in the training camp with Jerry Rice, all that stuff, and looked up to Jerry Rice, blah, 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 blah. And then his dad was a very organized guy, and he started those kids putting goals on a spreadsheet, right? And he got them at a young age to do those type of things, right? Put your goals on a spreadsheet, do all these things. And the more and more I heard that, I was like, dang, that's kind of cool, right? And then you hear little things about Trey through Sean McAvoy, his QB coach, saying like, yeah, dude, this kid, he doesn't want to get off the field when he's practicing, when he's got a mass or something. Like, one more. And then when he does that one more, he'll say one more after that. Like, he's like that kid, he's that guy. So when you have a driven person like that, that's playing with a chip on their shoulder, man, that's the type that become, those are the players that become GOATs. I'm not saying that he's going to become a GOAT, but that's the type of player. That's the mentality that you have to excel. Like, if you look at all the greatest players, it's always that thing. It's always that same thing, like just that crazy competitive, that crazy willpower, that crazy, all. And then, of course, you got to have luck on your side. But, that's what's really got me excited. And I hope all these things are true. And I think they are, just because you never know with marketing these days. And these kids are smart nowadays, too. Like, all these kids coming out of football, they're trained to know exactly what to say, to, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really trained to do that. And good for them, right? Good for them. But I have a feeling that he's the real deal as far as that goes, so excited.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming on, Swan.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. I log right before I log into work. I check on YouTube and I would see you here and I was like, but right when I catch you, you'd be at the end of your show. And I was like, man, he's starting this stuff too early for West Coast people. But then I remember that you're from the East Coast.
No, I'm Central Time. But it's still loaded in here. We got over 430 people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, so. No, but I mean for callers too. I was like, yeah. But man, I appreciate you, man. I love seeing you when you're on Grant or on any of the other 49er shows, and then of course your show. But yeah, man, I will be checking out. I'll be here.
All right, you have a good one, bro.
All right, you too, Crock.
All right, here we go. A couple messages I started real quick. We got Bill here. Let's see. He said, I hope your facility is reasonably priced. I live in Vegas, and most places that like most places like this charge an arm and a leg, which alienate a bunch of good athletes. My question would be, what is reasonably priced? And then I'll tell you if my prices are reasonable or not. Got another one. Hey, son. That's my mama there. Shout out to my mama in the chat this morning. Hope you got a workout in this morning. Mom, do you want to come on live? See if my mom wants to come on live. But shout out to my mom at the crib out in California. Obviously, I'm here in Monticello, Arkansas. If you go back to the beginning of the show, I kind of show some updates on my gym. And I've heard some trucks and machines out there. So they might be out there right now working on my facility, man. But it's exciting times. Exciting times. My mom's going to come on. Okay, hold on. Nobody else click this link. Just my mama. Just my mom click the link. We're going to bring my mom on real quick. Maybe I'll ask her some questions about me. We'll see if she tells the truth. All right, Mom. So you got to click that link I just put in there. And that should let you come right on. Garoppolo is whack. See, Garoppolo's not whack. It's funny because I think like as of late, there have been a lot of people that they come at me and they're like, "Oh, Crock, you're a Jimmy defender, like all this and the other." And it's like, dude, no, like I want Jimmy gone, but I don't think it's as bad as people say. All right, here we go. We got my mom coming on here. Hello.
Good morning.
Here you go, Mama. All right, good morning, Mama. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We just got back from New Orleans. Yeah.
I know. I saw that. And yes, I did have a very good workout this morning.
All right. Yeah, I got to go get my workout in too. Donald's here. He's asleep on the couch right now.
Oh, is he? He's going to be asleep probably for a few more hours.
Yeah. Right. I guess, my mom's on here. So we'll do this. All right. And about 5 minutes, Mom. How's that?
Okay, that's cool.
All right. So somebody said that we look just alike.
Oh, see, I told you, Eric. I told you. You always doubt me. I told you.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if my mom has it. I'm going to open it up here. We got about 5 minutes. If y'all want to ask my mom any questions about me, I'll post it onto the screen and I'll have her answer any questions about me growing up or whatever. Obviously, I was the golden child. I'm my mom's favorite child. So, she can't say it, but yeah. Someone said, take your hat off, Crock. They want to see my bald head. I'm bald headed, man. Yeah. All right, here we go. First question, Mom.
Okay.
Was Crocky a good kid growing up?
Yes. Yeah. You were a really good kid. You always just clean up behind yourself, do your chores. You listened. Yeah, you were a really good kid.
All right. See, I like that. Now, if there was one, I don't want to say downside to me growing up, but something you felt like, you know what, Eric, you could be a little better at this. I know I got in a lot of fights.
I was just about to say, maybe holding your temper a little bit at school, Well, you weren't a bully, but, you weren't to be picked on either.
But I feel like you told me, and I took it a little too far.
I told you to protect yourself. That's right.
Yeah.
Protect yourself.
But then it was like always getting in fights and stuff like that. But
it wasn't your fault.
Oh, right,
Look,
right.
It's never your fault.
There we go. Never my fault. Here we go. Did Crock ever get suspended from school?
Yes. We're not going to go into the details.
Yeah, let's not go into the details of all those. Definitely
no,
not.
No.
Let's see. Here we go. I'm still looking at these. Mom, are you proud of your son Eric?
Hell yeah. 100%.
Why?
100% I'm proud of you. I mean, you're accomplishing all your goals. Like what's next? What's left? What's left? You're a good father, you're a business owner. I mean, sheesh, you have successful podcasts. Like what's next? Your gym's going up.
Yeah.
You're a good son. I mean, what's next?
Oh no, that's why I always, I'm always trying to figure out what's next. I
You
don't
know
know.
what I'm saying? It's nothing but up.
Here's a question. When you saw me as a little kid, did you ever imagine that like I would do, not saying I would do good things, but like NFL, podcast, like because that's kind of far-fetched. I don't know if you see those kind of characteristics in kids.
I mean, you always loved sports, though. You were always good, especially like in basketball. I thought you would, go further in basketball. That would be your love, your first love, and not football.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. I tell people, I try to tell, my son D, I'm always telling him, like, dude, my mom, she didn't tell me to go out there and work on my left hand or go shoot or go work out. Sun up to sundown, I was out of Already Park hooping.
That's right.
Like the whole day.
That's right.
All right, here we go. Here's a question. If you can remember this far back, Mom, when did you see Crock show interest in football?
Pause.
I'm paused?
There you go. Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Oh yeah, I said it says Mama Crock, when did you see Crock show interest in football?
Oh gosh, at a young age.
Yeah.
They were like, my brother he played football and he took them under, his wing, and both boys were into sports since they were as small. As little as I can remember. I don't even know what age, but at a very, very young age, they were into sports. Always.
Here's a good one. Mama Crock, what was your reaction when Eric told you he signed with the New York Jets?
I was so excited and happy and proud.
Yeah. That was a pretty
extremely
cool moment.
Proud. Yeah. He worked hard though.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. A couple more. I think they just want to give us a donation here from our guy Swang Song. He was just on. He said cheers. Let's see. How many women has Crock brought home?
Bought home? Maybe, let's see, 3.
Yeah, I didn't really bring.
Yeah, brought home 3.
How many women has Crock been involved with?
Oh gosh, that's.
I ain't gonna lie, Mom, I have some bad ones too.
I have no comment.
Oh man, I'll try to make my mom blush on here.
I'm not gonna blush.
But yeah, so I don't know what that is right there. But yeah, when did I don't know. Somebody said, when did I get addicted to barbecue sauce? I don't know. I know this much. I know, and then for those of y'all who kind of joined late or whatever, this is my mom right here. We were about to end the show. I saw my mom in the chat, and I'm like, man, maybe I'll just bring my mom on and get her to answer some questions. So I will never eat mayonnaise.
No.
Despise mayonnaise. I just won't touch it at all or anything. So I had to find like, what's my alternative? Like, I'm not really big on ketchup, mustard, all that, but it was barbecue sauce. So I had barbecue sauce on everything. Everything.
Like your uncle. Like your uncle.
Uncle Tracy?
Yeah. He makes
Uncle Tracy
spaghetti. He eats barbecue sauce on everything.
Really? See, I didn't know that. Now
everything.
So my uncle is my mom's youngest brother. Her other brothers.
No,
all right. But my mom's youngest brother, and he was kind of like the person I looked up to growing up. My Uncle Tracy. He kind of like, you have that like that hero or whatever. Like Uncle Tracy would become my hero because he played ball. Like he gave me his shoebox of all his recruitment letters and everything. He got recruited pretty much by everybody in the nation for football. He ended up going to junior college, ended up going to University of Minnesota. But like he's a Cowboy fan. Luckily, I I didn't buy into that. BJ
boo.
did. But I'm a lot like my uncle. I think we have like similar personalities in the sense of being like goofy and stuff like that. I think I get a lot of that from Uncle Tracy. So the barbecue sauce thing, I didn't know, but you know, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll maybe get to one more question. Oh, somebody did ask a question about you.
Oh.
Here we go. Did Mama Crock play any sports growing up?
Yes. Basketball.
Yep.
And I was a cheerleader.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So play basketball, but all right, Mom, I appreciate you coming on.
All right. I love you.
Love you too, Mama.
Bye, guys.
All right. Yeah, I gotta kick my mom out here. All right. I'm pretty sure I'll talk to her a little bit later. But shout out to everybody. Somebody said, "What is your mom? 40?" No, my mom about to be 60. My mom will be 60 in what, 2 years? About 2 years, she'll be 60 years old. Is your mom a Niner fan? Yes, and that's why I'm a Niner fan. She talked about my uncle. He's kind of like my hero. He's a Cowboy fan, but when I was young, about 5 years old, I asked my mom, like, "Mom, what's your favorite team?" She said 49ers. So since the age of like 5 years old, I've been a 49er fan ever since. And so that's why I'm a Niner fan. People, they get this confused because, well, I'm a 49er fan. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, and I'm a Laker fan. People are like, "Well, how are you a 49er fan, a Giants fan, and then a Laker fan? Like, you might as well be a Rams." I mean, they say all kind of wild stuff, but I got my favorite teams by just the people around me. So I would just ask them, like, "Who's your favorite team?" And whatever team, like, it's like, well, I'm going to take interest to that team as well now. And so that's why my teams are a little all over the place. But yeah, here we go. Yes, I'm a Niner fan. So yeah, Mama is a Niner fan. But all right, man, that's going to do it for this episode of the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Bring my mom on. That was a first, but that was pretty cool. Have my mom on here, you know, answer a couple questions and whatnot. Shout out to everybody that's contributed to the show. Everybody that listens to Locked On 49ers. Listen to Locked On 49ers with myself, Brian Peacock, will come at you 5 days a week. I try to come on here Monday through Thursday. And then during the season, Monday through Friday, but obviously, you know, traveling and stuff like that, my schedule's kind of been sporadic, but you know, tune in. I should be in here most days during the week, as long as I don't have anything else going on that takes me away from this. Surrounded by support, yes, sir. You are blessed, man. I've had some amazing people in my life. Shout out to everybody, like amazing people. It ain't me, man. It's God and my family. I appreciate everybody that's a part of that. And y'all, yeah, I'm surrounded by an amazing 49ers fan group, fan supporters, all that good stuff. Love y'all. Man, y'all know what it is, man. San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. Y'all have a good one. Have a good rest of your day. And see y'all tomorrow morning. Peace.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crock Talk TV podcast. Peace.